All right, we are good. I'm just doing some little prep here. Like I gotta send this out to my Facebook page. Sometimes it takes me a few seconds because I'm not as quick as Lamar or Shay, but not to worry. And there we go. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing out there? I hope you're doing all right. Welcome to Black Buzz. Welcome to another episode of Black Buzz. This is KP here. Of course, we have Miss Shay, TB Entertainment. Right?
Every time.
For all your musical needs, man, just hit her up. If you have any tech questions, hit up Lamar. He's right here. Right? We
Yeah.
we know we normally have Tia with us. If Tia is watching, shout outs to Tia K. T Kicks. Um, her business, Lamar, is what? Shoe customization, right?
Yeah, shoe customization. Yeah.
All
You can
right.
find her
And
on Instagram at tkicks,
yes,
t.kicks.
yes,
Yeah.
she's excellent. She's really, really good at it. Support the young black sister. All right. Lamar, tell us about our social media presence, sir.
So you can find us on Instagram at blackbuzz.to. And that's also the same username on Facebook, and on YouTube is blackbuzz.to. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate that,
Yeah.
sir. Appreciate that. So, and by the way, if you leave a comment, we will see it and we'll, put it in here. Maybe you have a question or a comment, whatever it is. You want to interact with us, just go ahead and drop it in there. We'll see it and share it. Okay, so today we're talking to Miss Charlene. She is the CEO of Melanated Vegan. I'm already liking this.
Hey guys.
Uh, she became vegan over 4 years ago for health reasons, and it's the best decision she's ever made. Melanated Vegan creates mouth-watering gourmet vegan food. Just reading it is mouth-watering.
It's a
You,
tricky thing.
yeah, you're gonna keep poking. Okay, um, mouth-watering gourmet vegan food using simple, fresh ingredients with a hint of Caribbean flavor. All right. Our
Yeah, to
belief,
get the flavor.
yes, yes, I see it. Our belief is that our food should entice even the pickiest eaters. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Oh, I like that last part. Not a diet, it is a lifestyle. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So talk to us now, in terms of before we get to the business part. Tell us a little bit about Charlene. Where you're from. You grew up in Toronto. Background. Give us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, so I grew up in the West End, so Dufferin and Rogers area. So close to kind of Little Italy, Portugal area. And
Yeah.
we were basically the only Black family on our street. So it was myself and my brother. We were born here, and my parents are Trinidadian. So my dad is from Tobago, and my mom is from Trinidad.
Mhm.
Shay's like, yes. Um, so yeah, so it was me and my brother, my sister. We have an older sister, but she actually was born in Trinidad, and she didn't come here until she was 16. So it was the three of us in a predominantly Italian and Portuguese community, and eventually we moved to like Markham in my late early 20s,
Mhm.
and I actually went to culinary school after high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go into something that I wasn't really passionate about. There were things that I thought I wanted to do, and and then I I decided, no, that's not really what I wanted to do. So I went to culinary school, and I've been cooking for over, I would say, 20 something years. So yeah,
Wow.
that's how I got started.
20 something years of cooking. So what
Probably more than that, because I've been cooking since I was 12 with my dad. I grew up cooking in the kitchen with my dad. My mom knew how to cook, but my dad was really the cook in our household, and
I
I'm a
understand.
daddy's girl. So I grew up cooking with my dad a lot.
I understand, man. You know, usually when the dudes get involved, you know, it's over. It's over. But why you laughing, Lamar? You better be able to do something in the kitchen, eh?
Of course I can cook. Of course I can cook.
Okay, sir. We'll go with that. Okay, so how did we get to, you know, what was it like, you know, with the culinary schooling and all that? So you started, yes, with your dad, and you know, you developed a like for it, for just cooking on a regular.
Yeah, I always had a passion for cooking. I remember one of my first meals was cooking Paleo.
Yeah,
So that's a Trinidadian, or one of our national dishes is
Yes.
Paleo.
Yes.
So that was the first thing I asked my dad if I could make on my own. I think I made chicken Paleo, and so that's how I really got started. And then when
right.
I went to culinary school, um, it kind of expanded what I already knew.
Yeah,
I was cooking for the family. I cooked, family events. I was catering different events, and really going to culinary school was really more learning about technique and different types of cuisine. So I went to Liaison College, and it's really French cuisine that you learn about, but you learn about the technique behind it. So that's really what gives you the more creative background into cooking.
slowly transition us to where the vegan part and then the business.
So I went vegan almost 5 years ago. So a
Okay.
little, yeah, so close to 5 years now. I went vegan for health reasons.
Okay.
I was having issues. A lot of Black women have issues with fibroids. They have fertility issues. So that was one of my issues. So that was the main reason why I went vegan. So my fiance and I, we were looking into starting a family, and it wasn't really happening for us. And at my age, I just turned 43 on Saturday. Thank you. So at my age, you're considered mature. Your eggs are considered mature at that time. So we decided, it was actually him that brought it to me to see if it would help with the pain I was having, all of the fibroids and all of those issues that us as Black women don't really talk about. It's kind of like hush hush. My mom went through it. My mom ended up having like a whole hysterectomy. I didn't want that for myself. I saw what she went through and the pain. So we decided to do our research, and I would say within the first year or so, I noticed a total, I would say 360 turnaround with my health, with the pain, the bleeding. There would be sometimes before I went vegan, I would have to call an ambulance. That's how bad the pain was. And I said, this is not for me. I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. Every month I'm suffering. It's not necessary. It's really not necessary. So we both transitioned to the vegan lifestyle. We went cold turkey. I would not recommend that for somebody that's just starting out, but
Yeah.
because I had the culinary background, I already knew that I would be able to put like meals together. For somebody that does not have the same background as me, I would not recommend it, because it can get frustrating for people to try to put dishes together. And then I created Melanated Vegan. So I was kind of really just selling t-shirts at the time, and doing small little markets. But then I said, at these markets, people are selling food. I'm like, wait, well, I went to culinary school. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? So I decided to start selling food. I was selling food before I went vegan. I was catering different events. I was making cakes. So it wasn't something new to me. So I just made the transition into vegan food.
Okay. And what's it been like since you made the transition? How you started the business, like right away, like, or you did some research into get it. How did all of that develop now?
I started doing small little markets, so little pop-up events, just selling the t-shirts. And because I knew how to cook, I just put dishes together, West Indian dishes that I love, that I grew up on, and I just removed the meat from it. And growing up, there's a lot of
you veganized pilau. That's what you did.
Yes, I did. So
pilau, not pilau. Pilau. On national TV. It's pilau.
It's pilau.
You hear that, Lamar?
You know what? Talking about that, I saw your version of it. Like, I do make vegan pilau. Like, I eat meat, but I make vegan pilau. But I saw your version of it, and I was very surprised because you sweat the veggies first, whereas for me, I browned the pigeon peas.
Yes.
So I was watching her recipe online because I
hold on. Where are you getting to the excitement? He's talking to us about the development.
All right, go ahead.
My goodness.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Okay, let me help you. You're talking about the development of the business. You're selling t-shirts. I was asking you, how did you, when did you register?
Yeah.
And all that.
So I was selling t-shirts. So I think after the first year I went vegan. After the first year, I started selling t-shirts at small little pop-up events. Yeah. And then I think the following year, I transitioned into selling food. But let me tell you, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work doing these one little pop-up markets or even 3-day, 2-day festivals. It's too much. It's a lot of work. I worked in a restaurant before I went vegan. And I was working, I think about 60 hours a week. And I feel like that is what I was doing. Even though it was like a weekend thing, I felt like I was in that same sort of atmosphere where you're just go, go, go. You're not sleeping. You're up at 6 or 5 in the morning and you're not going to bed until like midnight. Because you have to, think about, prepping for the next day and cleaning up and, getting all of your equipment together and making sure you have enough supplies for the next day. So I felt like that was too much. So last year, whenever the pandemic hit, I decided
2020. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So before the pandemic hit, I think in January, I said, I'm not going to be doing any more markets. And then in March, there you go, the pandemic hit. So it didn't even matter if I wasn't going to do any more markets anymore because it wasn't going to be possible. So I really had to think about what my plan was going forward. Because I had a plan to do, I was doing cooking classes. That wasn't possible. So I really kind of focused last year and this year on my meal prep. And that is what is my focus right now, is my meal prep and my catering.
All right. So we're in it now. Shay, you want to bring up the social media account? Talk to us now about things that you produce. We're talking to Miss Charlene from Melanated Vegan, right? She is the CEO. She is the owner. She is the one running this thing, and we are getting some information from her a little bit about her business here. Let me get it up on screen here. There we go.
Yeah, so that's my website.
Okay.
So as you can see, those are pictures from past festivals that I've done and shows that I've been at.
Right.
And then my meal prep, which I do now, and my cooking classes, and then also my merchandise.
Okay, so you do cooking classes as well.
I do. So I did before the pandemic hit. So hopefully soon we'll be able to start doing cooking classes again. So I was doing themed cooking classes. So I did one maybe once a month.
Right.
Based around different events. So like Mother's Day or like a mommy and me class, one for Father's Day, Valentine's Day. So hopefully, I'm not sure when this pandemic is going to be able, we're going to be able to open things up. So that's just on hold for right now.
Before the pandemic, you had this was online mainly. You didn't have like a physical location?
No, so I was renting a community center. I was renting out their kitchen.
Right.
And that's where I would have my classes. So
okay.
I'm not able to rent that studio now.
Right.
So that's on hold.
Okay. So in terms of when you did those classes, I see a comment coming through here. This is from a great cook. You have a supporter here.
That's my fiance.
Oh, okay.
He should know. He gets he gets all the food.
All right. Shout out to him. Okay, so to talk to us a little bit more now in terms of the food itself. Like, okay, before you get on to anything else, right? When you taught people how to cook, is it simple? Like, how did you get into it? What was it like teaching individuals to cook vegan food?
So I'm teaching. Okay, so to start, the people that actually attend my classes, they're not. A lot of them aren't even vegan. I may get one or two.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, so I may get one or two people in the class that are vegan,
right.
But they want to learn how to cook something different. So I do simple. I usually do like an appetizer, a main, and a dessert, something simple that they can go home with. And I usually give them recipes after the class. So it's usually something simple that they can go home with, and they can grab the ingredients. It's not like crazy ingredients that you wouldn't recognize, everyday ingredients that you wouldn't recognize normally.
Right. Okay, so talk to us about some of the things that we're seeing here.
So that was a new recipe. This one here, it's rum and raisin sweetbread. So if you're Trini, you know what sweetbread is, because we usually make that around Christmas time. But I love to have it all year round. So that's just my veganized version, and I put a little Caribbean flavor on it. So rum and raisin. So the raisins are soaked in rum.
Yeah.
That's vegan. It's okay. We understand. So okay. When you say vegan, right? Just in case there are individuals watching and they may not know, like, for example, your bread, what is it that you have in there and what don't
That
you have?
makes it vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes it vegan? So the butter would be vegan butter.
Okay.
And then the milk is plant-based milk.
Okay.
Some people put eggs in their sweetbread. I don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've never have. I've had people that put eggs in their sweetbread, but there's no dairy products. No dairy or byproducts, animal byproducts in my food.
So flaxseed and applesauce and all those things that would be your eggs and all that. I know a little bit.
No,
So.
with sweet bread, you don't have to put eggs in it.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't.
What do I know? I'm not sure.
You know.
All right. Is anything else you want to take us through on? This is Instagram, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my Instagram. I think that's where I have my largest following, where I post the most recipes and videos and stuff like that. So that's my most active platform.
Yeah.
And then I use Facebook just to I would say, I'm not going to say older, but the people that don't usually use Instagram are a lot of moms and seniors. So I use Facebook for that, to capture that audience.
All right.
So that's my meal prep. So I do meal prep every Sundays.
Do you do vegetarian as well, or it's just straight vegan, plant?
Yeah, I don't do vegetarian. I'm vegan,
Okay.
so
Okay.
Everything that I cook is vegan.
All right. I'm all right, wow, these things are. So you said you've been going now for how long? In terms of the business?
In terms of the business, I would say a little over 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. What's
Yeah.
like the most popular order, like in terms of a dish that individual?
My most popular dishes are my crabless cakes
Okay.
and my rolled zucchini lasagna. So those are my two most popular dishes.
Has the in terms of, I know you're talking about the shows that you used to do and the pandemic, but what's the pandemic like as far as the meals and the prep and all these different things? Are you still getting a lot of orders, or
I would say I'm busier now than I was before the pandemic in terms of meal prep, because people are home, they don't know what to cook, or they're getting bored, or they're looking for something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I say I'm busier now than I was before the pandemic.
What's it like? Oh, you have fiance coming in again. He loved the crab cakes. In terms of you have breakfast. Do you do breakfast? Do you do lunch, dinner? Like, what do you do?
So I do. Yeah, I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but nobody really orders breakfast food.
Right.
For me, it's even though it's hard to come up with breakfast ideas, a lot of people just order lunch and dinner items.
Well,
yeah. So funny story about this kalaloo soup. So when I went to culinary school, our final exam was to invite our family and friends to our final exam, and we had to do an appetizer, a main, and a dessert. So I said, you know what? I'm going to show these people my culture. And I was actually the only Black student in my class. So I said, you know what? I'm going to teach them how to make something Caribbean, or serve them something Caribbean. And I made kalaloo soup. So I was actually nervous when I made this, because I didn't know what to expect from my chef. And my chef is from England, this this white man, and if you can think, he's like a Gordon Ramsay. He's like very straightforward, and yes, so you were kind of scared of him. You're really kind of scared of him. So, when I made the soup, he came back. We served the soup. He came back into the kitchen, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like nervous. I'm sweating, and he says, "Chef." I said, "Yes, chef." And his face is all serious. He never smiles, just a serious face. He says, "Chef." I said, "Yes, chef." He said, "That is the best soup I've ever tasted." He's never tasted anything like that before.
House.
Yes. So, that was the highlight of my culinary school experience.
And that was before the vegan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was before I went vegan. I actually put crab in it. I think, when I did my final exam, there was crab in it.
The vegan version of crab cakes. What do you do there?
I use hearts of palm, so it kind of simulates.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it tastes exactly like crab cakes, and I'm not expecting it to, and I don't want it to taste like crab cakes because I don't have that feel for meat. But a lot of people, when they're transitioning, they still want that sort of that crab-like taste or that meat taste. So I'm not going to say it tastes 100%, but it's pretty close to the real thing.
What dish do you
have a question?
Sorry. Go ahead, Lamar.
Yeah, I see on your Instagram that you do a lot of TikTok. So like, how has that application helped you get your brand out there?
Lamar, let me tell you something. I feel like I'm so old for TikTok. I do not even know. I don't even know how to use it half of the time. Half of the time I just like make videos and then just post it and add music to it. So I'm still learning. I think I just started the last couple of months. So I'm working on it. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. And I don't have like a large following, but I see it as a way to grow my business because a lot of younger people are on there, and they're the ones that are starting to transition or they're vegan already. So I find that the platform will be helpful. I just need a little work.
Yeah.
Sorry, is this a poutine?
Okay, what were you saying? Oh, never mind.
No, go ahead, Shay.
Sorry, is this a version of poutine?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, that was I think I was hungry that day and I just put a whole bunch of things together and I made some, I think I had leftover salsa that I made and just topped it with vegan cheese and avocado. But I do make at the markets I do make loaded cassava fries. So it has jerk mushrooms, it has guacamole, it has salsa, and then it has the fried cassava fries at the bottom. And that was one of my popular dishes at the markets.
Which one do you like to make? Like, in terms of you personally, what particular dish you like to make?
I like spicy food. I love doubles because they're just easy, an easy snack. I could eat doubles all day, every day, if I could.
That's the only reason why I go home to Trinidad. As soon as 6 o'clock, you make a right heading towards Arima. Life is good.
Doubles.
Stop calling names of places. We don't know those places, okay?
You don't have to know. She understands. No, but it doubles has a life of its own, and it's the simplest thing. It's just flour with chickpeas. That's basically what you're eating.
You're right. but it tastes delicious.
It's delicious. It's a life of its own. It's
Yeah, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
all day. You can eat like 6 in one sitting.
Yes.
So do you get into desserts too in terms of your business?
I do. So I do make cakes. So I was actually making cakes before I went vegan. So I was selling birthday cakes before that. So I still do that now. And I didn't really go to school to learn how to decorate. So my decorating skills are not that great. I'm still kind of mastering that. But if you show me a picture, and I'll try to figure out how to come around to design what you're looking for.
Okay. She does desserts too. My goodness. I mean, in what are your thoughts about this whole plant-based, I don't know if you should say revolution, or this big thing now where everybody is around vegan, being plant-based, and all of these different things. You know, you can go into Walmart and all of these grocery stores now, and pick some sort of vegetarian food or vegan food off the shelves. What are your thoughts around it?
I think it's great. I think it is going to change a lot of things, especially in Black communities where people can't not access food, where there are food deserts. I think that's one thing that needs to be kind of talked about, because food deserts are a real thing.
Right.
And when people don't have access to good food, it can be hurtful to communities. And you definitely notice which communities are getting hit with it and what are placed in the community. So you see McDonald's, you're seeing all these fast food restaurants, you're seeing all of these corner stores that sell junk food. And I think it's important to get those healthy foods into those communities. You see Whole Foods in like Young Street and all of those communities where you won't see all of the Black population. They have access to those foods than we do. So I think it could be a good thing if they're placed into the right communities and the right people are getting the lion's share of the proper food too.
With that as well, is there a positive impact on your business with all of this plant-based this and all these different? There's a positive for your business as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like a lot of things, you don't realize how many people in the community. People look at being vegan as a white thing, like only white people are vegan. When I first went vegan, I kind of didn't really know where to look, and I'm like, there's not a lot of Black vegans, but over time, like over the months, you see that there's a very large vegan communities. There's Black vegans of Toronto that I'm a part of. I think there's over 1,000 of us in the group. The community all over the country. I feel like I say this, like when I went natural, when I did my hair natural, before I went natural, you're like, oh, you don't see a lot of girls with natural hair. I feel like you don't notice things until you start doing them. Like when I started doing my locks, I'm like, oh, there's not a lot of girls with locks. But now I see everybody has locks. But that you're not really conscious of, you don't notice. So people that think that things are a trend are really not trends, because people have been doing it for many years. Like my aunts have been natural their whole life. Some of my aunts have been natural their whole lives. I've have friends that have been vegan their whole life. So things things that people are not aware of
Mhm.
are considered trends. I find that's just my perspective of things.
What are some of the other things about melanated vegan that you'd want to get out there, as far as what you do, the food? Could be any particular thing.
Sorry, before you answer that, why melanated vegan out of all of the names you can create? That's
I'm
what
glad you asked that. So melanated vegan. The reason why I call it melanated is because I wanted to bring awareness to my community, so the Black community.
Mhm.
And I wanted to serve my people first. So it was all about serving my people. It wasn't about anybody else.
I love it.
It's because we kind of suffer the most,
Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of us don't really know where to look for help. So that was the reason why, the reason behind the name Melanated Vegan.
Okay. And what I had asked there in terms of what you want to folks to know about melanated vegan, food wise, any could be anything, any particular
Yeah,
thing.
so I'd like people to know that vegan food does taste good. So my Caribbean people, don't be scared. If you're thinking about,
Cardboard.
if you're thinking about transitioning, there's alternatives for everything. So I make vegan oxtail. I make vegan curry goat. I think the problem is people think that they're going to miss out on things.
Yeah.
You can still have the things that you love, and you're not going to miss out on those things because now there's vegan options for every single thing.
How do you help a person when you say transition? Like how do you help a person transition, or what would a person do in terms of that transition? Because I did like you, I did the cold turkey, but I wouldn't recommend it for people. It could mess you up.
Yeah. So what I recommend, the beginning of this year, I said set some goals for yourself.
Mhm.
Don't go cold turkey. So maybe do 1 week, cut out dairy. The next week, cut out red meat, cut out chicken. Start doing things a little bit at a time, and just take your time. There's times when I first started, I would kind of fall back onto things. Like my thing was ice cream. I love ice cream. So I think in the first year I would like indulge in like an ice cream and then I would end up regretting it because my body it did not want the ice cream. First of all, we're not supposed to be eating or consuming dairy, because dairy is not made for humans. It's made for animals. We're not baby cows. We're the only species that drinks milk from another species. So you don't see a cow drinking human milk or another animal drinking human milk. So those are the things that in the beginning I was kind of craving. So even like cheese, I was kind of still craving cheese. So I always say, don't be so hard on yourself. And there's going to be times when your family members are going to be, nitpicking in your ear. I'm the only vegan in my family. So my fiance and I are the only vegans in our family. And with my Trinidadian background, like, oh, you're going to starve.
You're gonna get skinny, yeah.
Yes. And, you're only going to be eating salad and bird food and all this nonsense. But I say, almost 5 years later, I'm here. I'm living and I'm thriving on my vegan lifestyle. So I always say, try not to listen or try to like put those negative energy, those negative thoughts about what other people are saying into what you are trying to do. It's your journey. It's not anybody else's.
How long does it take you to put together a meal? Like in terms of for let's just say it's today or tomorrow, whatever the case is, and what your menu is standard. Is your menu just standard, or how do you mix it up?
So my meal prep menu is standard. So it really depends on how many orders I have on Sundays. So usually it takes me all day. My niece helps me, so she's my sous chef. So she already knows what to put together, what to slice up. So we have our set menu, and so usually it takes me the entire day to cook. If I'm cooking for myself, it can take me like 20, 30 minutes, depending on what I want to eat for that day.
What's the largest order you've ever received?
To date, I think 30 orders.
30 orders.
Yeah.
Of different things or one?
Of different things. It's not, So I'm putting 30 different items together.
You operate all through the week?
No, I'm actually still working my full-time job.
Right.
So I still have my 9 to 5. So it's usually after my work day ends, I'm either working on my website, working on my social media content, and then I spend my weekends either working on short orders or my meals, getting groceries for my meals on Sunday.
Okay. Melanated vegan, man. Listen, well, I'm not in Toronto right now. I'm in the US. These two right here, they're in Toronto. But I mean, it's just amazing the amount of individuals and the amount of things that that's coming out since the pandemic, and even more since 2020 with George Floyd situation. Right? And vegan and vegan food and vegan cooking is, like I said, it's right up my alley. I love it, and I really like some of the things that you're doing there. And I'll give you a little star, a little check for the the Trini twist.
A little star. He's a hater. Don't worry with him. Like anytime they have Jamaican guests, they go off. The moment myself, the moment
that's not true. That's not true. I want the Paleo, okay, vegan Paleo.
I know how it is, sis.
Okay, since you brought up the Paleo, let's talk about it, because you have a video on it's one of those, you did it for a particular website, correct? You did it for
it was Afro
yeah. So I'm just gonna show it so that KP actually knows what we're talking about. He doesn't feel left out,
And while you're doing that, so we're talking with Miss Charlene from Melanated Vegan, right? You can catch her on Instagram. She's on Facebook. You're on YouTube too, right?
I'm on YouTube, yeah. I'm updating my YouTube, so a lot of the videos are probably like a year old, but I'm updating that now.
Okay. You have merch. I see your little shirts here. You have merch.
I do. So I sell those and make those and design those too.
Okay. I see. Is the coconut milk? You use a lot of coconut milk? I
use a lot of coconut. Yes. Use a lot of coconut.
So you start out. This is just like what is it?
So that's the base. So that's the base. I use mushrooms instead of the meat. So it's usually chicken, or sometimes people use beef.
Okay. So yeah, the non-vegan version. Why do they call it Paleo?
It's really there's a lot of stories. There's a funny story, but I can't remember it offhand. But I don't really know the whole background of it.
Right. That's okay. So you're putting together all the ingredients there.
Yeah, so I used peppers. You can use any types of vegetables that you want, but I used peppers, red and yellow peppers and onions.
Mhm.
And then I browned
Mushrooms there.
my mushrooms there and
Mhm.
seasoned that. And then I added my kale and my peas and then my rice and coconut milk and the rest of the seasoning.
Yeah, that's basically it. So this is what I saw, and I was surprised because let me stop sharing. So because as you said, it does start off with the meat. So because I was raised real, and my mom's Guyanese, so she also has a spin to it too. So I always, so whenever because my sister and my brother are both vegans, so they was like, oh, we want you to make it for us. So I usually just, since I don't have the meat, I just brown the pigeon peas. And to me, it gives it the same vibe and the same buttery look as if there's actually meat in it. So that's when I saw you use, we call it sweating the vegetables.
Yeah.
Sweat the veggies.
So
oh, that's different.
Yeah, because I like to brown the mushrooms first, and then sweating the veggies, it brings out the flavor. So it gives it a little bit of sweetness to it. So that's why I do it that way first instead of doing the peas. Because usually when you make it, you brown your chicken and then you add your peas.
Then you add everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You don't use the browning method at all, or this is just for a particular one?
Yeah. So no, I don't use any browning at all. And I use brown rice, so that's where that color comes from.
That's all the brownie we need. Okay, the brown rice. No brown.
The brown rice. And the hand that cooked the rice are brown, so that's enough.
Basically, my mom said, like, she was explaining to me why it's just a pot of her version of it is that during the slavery times, we need to cook something quick, and we got all the entrails, and you just put whatever you could together, and then you brown it, and then everybody ate. But that was my understanding why it was Paleo. But that it has, as she said, it has so many different stories. Nobody actually know which one's the truth.
Yeah.
Everything in the pot, coconut water, you cover it down, you're done.
Exactly.
Melanated vegan. What kind of, okay? How well of a cook are you, Lamar? How good of a cook are you?
If you give me a recipe,
Yeah,
and it has instructions,
No man,
I'll be good. Like from a scale 1 to 10, no. From a scale 1 to 10, like 7.
Okay.
Very generous. But
Like I said,
for a person, for Mr. 7 here, Charlene, right? From you're giving somebody like Lamar some tips on basic meal prep or something like that. What kind of tips would you give him in terms of him learning or something like that?
Well, a 7 is pretty high.
Yeah, I know. And the reason I'm asking is because you're doing it from an educational standpoint, so you've really dug into this thing, right?
Yeah, so 7 is high. So I would say I usually have all of my ingredients set out first. And then just make sure you know what kind of flavors. You can mix and match your flavors at a 7. You know what kind of flavors you like. So if you want to substitute something in one of the dishes, go ahead, experiment with flavors. That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
It's not just salt and pepper. There's spices. But people don't use salt and pepper.
Listen, don't get me going, right? You've dug into quite a few things even the very name that you have, Melanated Vegan. You're unapologetic in terms of saying, listen, I'm trying to help my people, right?
Yes, and I always say, if people are not comfortable with that, then just unfollow me. I'm always gonna be about Black pride.
Right. Where are you trying to go with this? Are you trying, sure, we're dealing with the pandemic right now. You say you're doing this sort of like on the side type thing. But, what are you trying to do? Pandemic is going to be over soon, right? We hope.
We hope.
But what are you trying to? You trying to open a restaurant, or you're trying to,
Yeah, so my goal was always to open my own brick and mortar. So I was actually renting a space in Stouffville last year. So I was working out of there. But it was actually out of a fitness studio, and she just recently sold it. So that kind of just wiped out
Right.
the rest of what was planned again. So same thing, I had planned to do cooking classes, but now that she sold the spot, that's not possible. So right now I'm trying to focus on finding a new place of my own.
Right.
And maybe working with somebody else in the community that is vegan. And I'm also working on a cookbook that I'm hoping. So Lamar, you're 7, you follow instructions. There'll be instructions in the cookbook. So that is something that I've been wanting to do for some years now. So that is going to be my other focus.
Okay, cookbook and getting it out there. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. Looking forward to that happening. You know, so while the pandemic is happening right now, you're taking these orders. Are they far, near? Like, how far is, people come to get melanated vegan?
Yeah, so I do provide delivery. So my furthest that I deliver to is Brampton.
Oh, that's
And then
far.
I also offer pickup. So
Oh,
either a delivery or pickup is an option.
is it like a particular delivery date, or like, you just
Yeah, so everything is Sunday after 7.
okay,
After 7, so that just gives me time to prepare. And then just because I'm getting more orders now, it's just a lot of work
right?
to do with 2 people. So that's why I'm really hoping for a new space where I have more space to work with.
Oh, so it's a team.
Oh,
It's a team of 2.
Um, I have a team of really 4. So my mom helps me
Right.
sometimes. So when I was working at the cafe, she would help me. My niece helps me do the meal prep on Sundays. And then I have a friend of mine that does the deliveries on Sundays.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question. So, how do you balance? I guess because you have to cook for your family also, right? Do you cook? You cook for your family, right? And you have your business too. So like, how do you do both of that and manage? Yeah.
So actually my mom is not vegan, so she
Yeah.
actually lives with us. So she cooks her own meals.
Okay.
My fiance is in the US right now. He's not home
Okay.
just because of the pandemic. But when he is here, he's a big guy, so he likes to eat a lot.
Yeah.
And he doesn't cook. So he's not even a 7, Lamar. Not even a 7.
Ah, he's watching. Be careful,
So
She loves it.
I don't know if he's still there.
That's all that matters. She loves it.
Mr. Great,
I do. I love him
Great Cook,
still.
Mr.
I love
Great
him
Cook and
still.
Crab Cakes. He might be watching. You gotta be
Yeah, I
careful.
don't know if he's still there, but he's not even at a 7. Like he'll make. Okay, I won't say he's close. He's close. He'll make like 1 or 2 dishes that he's really good at. So like spaghetti, something simple, But he always says he loves my cooking. That's his excuse. And then I have my full-time job, which is kind of stressful in itself. I'm a meeting planner, so that job alone is stressful. So I don't think there's really any work-life balance. So at all, whoever says
Yeah.
work-life balance is possible,
Mhm.
there's no such thing as work-life balance. You just try to make things work as best as you can. Sometimes I'm up until like 2 o'clock in the morning, working on my business. But that is something that I want to do full time. So I make sure I pour my energy into that.
That's yeah, man. That's some serious dedication there.
All about the grind.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I always
eventually you're gonna transition to that though.
yes,
That's what.
yes.
Okay.
I always say you have to do for you what nobody can, because your job can leave or your job can fire you anytime, and you have to have something to fall back on. They don't care if you quit or if you leave. They're just gonna find somebody to fill that spot. I say you're always replaceable. You can be replaced at any time. Something can happen to you. You can be I don't know, in a car accident, and something serious happens to you. The next week they're gonna find somebody to replace you. Like life still goes on for them.
Okay. So, well, I mean, Black Buzz is bringing some more spotlight on you now. Are you ready? You ready for the overflow?
I'm ready.
We're here talking to Miss Charlene from Melanated Vegan. Definitely somebody you want to hit up, for all your vegan needs. She said, yeah, well, you say a lot of people don't order breakfast, but if they do, you get into that.
Yeah, so I have a whole breakfast
Okay.
menu. Yeah.
All right. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. She does some baking too. What about juices? I forgot to ask you. Like, you get into the juices and all those things?
I make juices for myself.
Yeah.
I haven't really branched out to making juice for anybody else, but it's the same thing. Like, I don't have the space right now to do that. So maybe once I have the space,
Right.
I'll be able to do juicing and smoothies and all of that stuff in the new spot.
Okay. All right.
So they can
Anything
find. Sorry. So they can find the menus and stuff all on your website, right? It's on Instagram or your website.
Yeah, so my menu changes. So I usually email the menus, and people have allergies. So I usually just email the menu items that they can eat. And I also have gluten-free items.
Okay. No, because I was saying if it's on Instagram, like we'll post it, and after all our viewers can see what the menu is in order. But
yeah, so my menu changes, so that's why I really don't post it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I usually email it to people.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Charlene and Melanated Vegan. That's right. I wish I was there to I want to try this. We have another guest here, Shay, that we're learning about, and I'm like, wow, look at this.
Thank you guys.
No worries, man. Okay, but tell us a little bit about the merch. I mean, you're wearing one. You got some behind you that we see some poking out from behind you.
Yeah, so I actually I have mugs. So this is one of my vegan and minding my business. So usually the slogans I kind of grab off of kind of a twist on what's popular out there. So minding my business, people talk about a lot. So I just put my own twist on it. And I have merchandise for the whole family. So it's not just, I don't just cater to women, even though women are my most popular clients are women and Black women at that. But I do cater to men. I cater to, we have baby merchandise. So we have kids. We have kids t-shirts. We have even have like baby onesies.
Right.
Yeah, so we have baby onesies. So we have little mini vegan.
Yeah, vegans coming up. Little vegans coming up.
Yes.
You're definitely all in, man. You're all in. We see
I
you're going
am.
you're transitioning soon. Wow.
I try to make it so that it's fun.
Right.
It's fun and it's not boring, and it's familiar to people.
Well, I have one suggestion. You said earlier today seasoning is more than salt and pepper. How about you try that one and put it out there? Seasoning is more than salt and pepper. Credit to Black Buzz.
You're supposed to wait until
I'm gonna tag you guys.
Yeah.
You're supposed to wait until I sign out, and then you give it.
No.
My goodness. All right. That's all the time that we have today. Thank you very much, Charlene, for coming on. Thank you for telling us about your business. We hope that a lot of people will come hit you up, get all the good things that you're making. All right.
Thank you guys for having me.
No worries, man. We loved it. We love all of it. Love all of it. Now Lamar. She goes as far as Brampton. You're not in Brampton, boss.
I'm in Toronto.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Hit her up for me, okay? So we are back next week, folks. Just hold on, Charlene. We're back next week, next Monday at 2 p.m. Remember, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we are on YouTube. This interview, you're going to be able to see it, and anything else connected to Melanated Vegan, we'll definitely have it up. All right? See you next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.